Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 72 of the RevEx Social Distancing Small Table Show, and the title of today's episode is You're Racist Against White People. And I'll come back to that in a minute, what that title's about. Coming to you live from the Bubba Belt, I am your host, Professor Rex, and my t-shirt and button today are continuing the series of people, presidential candidates I would vote for over Donald Trump, and I would vote for both Eric B. and Bob Marley over Trump. Yeah, I know Bob Marley's dead. He's still a better president than Trump would be. So, yeah, go for it. This is our small table show. One take, no edits, many mistakes, no pants. Although I do have shorts on today, so that's a change. Mixing it up a little bit. All right, you can join us. You can do music, monologues, comedy, spoken word, a live table read of Freddie Got Fingered, whatever. Contact us at revexproductions.org, on Facebook, Revolutionary Exchange Productions, or in the email and such. Yeah, you can do that. Maybe a text. Do you know me? You got my number? Look it up. All right. Today's show is brought to you by the Talon. Have you ever heard it? It's not really brought to you by the Talon. I'm just showing you the Talon because here's an issue of the Talon that we're going to address today. So the Talon was and probably still is the student newspaper of Tallahassee Community College, and a couple of people who watch this show might watch this episode also wrote for the Talon. Shout out to Talon alum out there. All right, so the Talon back in the day, mid 90s into late 90s, was like the top community college newspaper. Maybe not just in the South. It went on a streak of like 7 or 8 straight years of winning best paper in the state in its division. But also the year that I was editor-in-chief, not to brag, which was this year, 1995, going into 96. That year we were named an Associated Collegiate Press Pacemaker Award. And these were kind of like the honors of all college newspapers in the country. And so of these only 20 newspapers in the entire system, like collegiate system in the United States, both universities, colleges, community colleges, all that stuff. Only 20 papers got recognized out of all those colleges for excellence in reporting and graphic design and photos and stuff like that. And TCC was the only community college to make it. So at least that one year, we were the #1 community college paper in the country, and better than all but, say, the top 10 or so university newspapers. So one of the reasons why is we had good writing. Not just me, by the way. I'm going to toot my own horn here because these are the type of articles that we won awards for, but other people did too. I read one in an earlier episode where it was a sports column, and I won best sports column for that one. This is part of the series where I won 3rd place for best editorial column. So I was a little more controversial, but I still won awards there as well. All right. This one is called Life in the Bubba Belt, and what led to the title of the show. So I was a very provocative writer even in 1995 and 1996, as you will soon see. I'm going to read you verbatim this article from back then that was published in the college newspaper. And 2 responses I got from this were particularly interesting, and I remember them today. The first one was a guy that, between this one and another one, article I wrote that called out Rush Limbaugh, he told me that I was just wrong on everything and that Rush Limbaugh was a great human being and all this stuff. Later, and I mean much later, like within the last decade, this guy was accused of multiple sexual assaults and rape and is now in prison. The other person that wrote to me wrote in hand-scrawled, barely legible, like on a piece of paper, wasn't even notebook paper, just like a white piece of paper, wrote in hand-scrawled, barely legible stuff on there, the screed that was a page long, and it accused me of being racist against white people. Now, if you look really close there, you can see the picture on my face right next to the column. And, really, I couldn't possibly be much whiter. And by a definition, you can't be racist against your own race. But you can be prejudiced against them. That's a different thing. But racism is a structural thing. And, I'm not racist against white people. I dislike certain types of white people, as you will find out. This column was called Life in the Bubba Belt. Growing up in the South, Tallahassee, Perry, Havana, you learn that certain things are expected of you, especially if you were a white male. Many times, friends of mine have sought to make me laugh by telling me jokes in which the punchline involves racism, sexism, or homophobia. Sometimes, just for variance, they'll make fun of foreigners. Rather than reveal the sharp wit of the joke teller, who is always a white male as well, these jokes reveal the ignorance of the person trying to be so clever. These are usually the same people who go to a Jeff Foxworthy show and laugh along with the show, not realizing that Foxworthy's jokes are laughing at them, not with them. These people expect me to think the same way they do, because I'm a Southern white male. They expect me to hate the same things they do and like the same things they do. And that would be a mistake on their part. All human beings are created equal, not just the ones you like. They also expect me to like other things they do. White guys try to talk to me all the time about stuff like hunting, fishing, or automobile engines. The mere thought of talking about cars or auto racing or anything connected makes me want to toss my lunch into the top of their snakeskin boots, or ostrich, or whatever it is that they wear these days. Some of these guys like to get drunk, go to bars, and get in fights. I've been asked to go with them. Sorry, I think violence is for idiots or the military, which can be the same people. Most of the same guys who fight in bars like to beat their girlfriends or wives, too. Apparently, stupidity is a family value in the South. Any man who would hit a woman is no man at all. One of these guys made fun of me once because I'd never fired a gun before. I apologize again for my distaste for violence. It belongs in the military or on TV. And regardless of what Congress thinks, TV violence doesn't kill people. And every time I see the Confederate flag, I'm offended. It's a symbol of racism and oppression, and we need to eliminate it from our culture. If you don't believe me, ask any KKK member why they fly the Confederate flag. Other things expected of white males in the South that I take no part in: jacked up monster trucks, pay-per-view wrestling, line dancing, chewing tobacco, cowboy hats, and sinkhole swimming. While some of these activities may have their merits and may be enjoyable, the company you have to keep kills any chance of having any fun. Ignorance, intolerance, and disrespect are expected of you in the South, especially if you're a white male. And if you don't follow these ideals, you are looked down upon, made fun of, and sometimes even threatened. It's sad that the many positive aspects of Southern life and the beauty of the Southern states are ruined by such a Neanderthal way of thinking. And Congress wants to give less money to try and educate these people? Makes me wonder. And that was published in October 6, 1995. Life in the Bubba Belt. And be safe. Especially if you're in the Bubba Belt, because shit's going crazy down there. The COVID's at its highest point ever. You're going to get sick if you go outside. Pay attention. Be safe.